these young men feel like they have to be attached to something that's so toxic. Notti Osama attempted to attack the rival with a broomstick. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who spotted who first, who said something first. The courts, the judge, the feds, they care about who was the physical aggressor first. I want to call out all of y'all young men that then got together on some cheerleader and created a dance and calling it the Notti Bop. Have y'all lost y'all mind? What's up, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. First off, let me say happy holidays to you all. If you do not know me, I'm from Washington, D.C. My birthday coming up. I'm a Sagittarius, so there are certain stereotypes about us. Certain ones are true, okay? And you'll figure it out. Now, today is Call 'em Out, so I'm going to be at everybody's throat today. Today, I have to cover Notti Osama. He is in the New York drill rap scene, and he's been coming up with his cousin and a few other people that are doing the same thing. So my first time hearing about this young man who is 14 was saying that he passed away. Now, we are going to get into the circumstances of this young man's demise, what we knew before versus what we know now after the investigation. We also will get into what's going on social media from a grown person's standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I will be sounding off about it all. I will give my advice to those who are around Notti Osama's age, which is 14. So 12, 13, 14, really 10 to 17, 18, right? This is really who I'm aiming at, but this will be a lesson for all watching. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, Notti Osama, he started to get his name out there with his music. And from what I've seen, he has done a lot of music with his cousin, Didi Osama, and his close friend / best friend, Sugar Hill D-Dot. I think that's his name. These are all three young men. So at the top is Notti Osama, 14. Below him is Didi Osama is 15 years old. And the one on the bottom is Sugar Hill D-Dot. He is 13 years old. So all of these young people were born after 9/11. Let that sink in. These young people were born right as social media really started to pick up. A lot of them were born when I was going from elementary to middle school. So I'm letting that sink in with myself that I'm talking about extremely young people. All three of them are a force. Let me start with that. All three of them, you can tell it's genuine love. So all of them came up in the drill rap scene together. Some people may say, well, you listen to drill rap. How can you give really harsh criticism, or how can you say this or that when you listen to it? You know, it's almost like you glorify it. I don't glorify any of the street activity. But one thing I won't do is listen to and be here for extremely young people that's into something very dangerous. When I first seen that Notti Osama passed and he was 14, that was already sad. Extremely sad. But to know that he was in a field that is extremely toxic at a very young age, that was alarming to me. And even after, I didn't want to give the music a chance because Me being a big sister, I know what I would be here for with my younger brother and what I wouldn't be here for. And you're going to have to hear my mouth from morning till night that this is not what you need to do. But let's stay focused. Let's stay on track. Notti Osama was at a subway station. From the details, they state that he got onto the train. He saw a rival of his that does music also. Of course, we can't name names because that person is a juvenile. I believe 14 or 15. From the initial details, Notti Osama and this young man got into it, and Notti Osama was stabbed to death. Now, after the investigation, it was revealed that Notti Osama attempted to attack the rival with a broomstick, subsequently leading to the rival stabbing Notti Osama. I believe it was in the stomach. Before I knew about the broomstick, I felt bad for this young man because it's a life cut way too short, right? And even after hearing that he was the physical aggressor, because it at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who spotted who first. It doesn't matter who said something first. The courts, the judge, the feds, they care about who was the physical aggressor first. Even after the investigation revealed what it did, it's still a level of sadness that I felt for him, because at that young age, it should be situations like that that teach you something. Now, I wasn't toting no knife or broomstick or attacking nobody, even if I despised them at that age, you know. So I feel like the younger generation, they jump to physical violence first before any words, really. They just ready to turn a situation extremely ugly. That wasn't even a fist fight with either side. So I still feel a level of sadness that he had to go out that way, and I know it's a huge regret. Even in death, especially in death, it's a huge regret that you can't reverse. Death is not like prison. It's not a place that you can go and then be released. So it will forever be a regret in the afterlife of this young boy that he made this one wrong move. You should never underestimate anybody, but these are lessons that young kids, even myself, at the age of 13, 14, I didn't know that. But again, when you are jumping into a field where grown adults are, 21 and up, you of course have to be ready for anything, because you can get caught anywhere with anybody doing anything. You could get caught with your mama for talking about the opposition's dead members. You have to be on guard, but you got to think about shit and let it play out in your head before you act on it, because you never know what somebody got. Because the rival in this case could have very well had a gun, but he had a knife. Of course, a lot of people aren't gonna like that this young man beat those charges and it was ruled self-defense. That's what it was. All in all, if y'all got to fight, I don't see nothing wrong with no one-on-one fight. Go head up. Not on a train, not by the train, not on a platform. Take that shit to the street. But they know nothing of that. I say this all the time. Fighting changed a long time ago. And honestly, it's crazy to even think. 2007, 2008, 2009. That's where the one-on-one fights was really happening. but that's when they were born. After 2010, all you would see was jumping. All I would see was jumping. There was no one-on-one fights. It just wasn't. So that's nothing that they was exposed to. It's sad that these young men feel like they have to be attached to something that's so toxic. If this is the scale and the field that you in can both get you killed, put in prison, shot, stabbed, or otherwise, versus it could get you paid, a record deal, success, people knowing you, but all of that can collide, and it's weighing out that this side is way heavier and it's more of a probability. What I would say to these young men is, you don't have to rap about this shit. I said it in the Baby video. You don't have to rap about this shit because you and your people know who y'all ops are. What you're doing is making them feel loved, making them feel seen. We don't see the ops. Who? Because I know that just like they reciting lyrics in court, they can get all of y'all like that. And for what? Just because they said this, that, and the fourth after y'all said this, that, and fourth. It's just, it could go on for decades, and when y'all have kids, y'all not gonna want them to feel that pressure. It's best to get out of it now, and they are at great ages to do so. I listened to some of all of their music, and I want to say y'all don't have to talk about that shit. Y'all got great sounding voices. So the lane that y'all can be in, why it can't just be hip hop? It could be a drill beat, but it could also be something very real. Something that you've experienced going through your grieving process. It don't necessarily have to be sad. But this type of music is not going to help y'all as far as longevity is concerned. It's not going to help. I'm going to end Call 'Em Out like this. I want to call out all of y'all young men that done got together on some cheerleader shit and created a dance as if you're stabbing yourself and calling it the Notti Bop. Have y'all lost y'all fucking mind? When that is a possibility for all of you in New York, have you lost your fucking mind? You never know who has a knife. You could try to rob an old lady and she got a knife and slice and dice your ass. So what we really talking about? And you know what's pissing me off is seeing people my age into the immature. When you get locked up, you're going to Rikers. You going to that big boy shit. And fuck a knife, you gonna get shanked. Don't let it be on some y'all 25 and up, or even 21, and y'all messing with young girls. Cause that's a possibility. If you dissing young boys, you might be sleeping with young girls. So watch that. I hate it. It's sick. And go down the list of your family members. I bet you it's one of them or two of them that done been stabbed before. And if they see you doing that shit, they might take your phone. They might not give you money anymore. It's people that's on the clock at Subway and all this other type weird shit that's doing the Notti Bop. If you don't clock in and make the sandwiches, you got the apron on and everything, you ready to work. Social media is getting sicker by the day. It's more and more people willing to make themselves a target. And I'm going to stop calling it drill rap. I'm going to just call it toxic rap. Because that's all it is. It's angry. It's rowdy. Some of it, if you of age and it's like a relatable thing or what have you, I listen to it, I bump it. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to let your lyrics go over my head. It's this one song called Talk Facts, and nigga, they said like 15 of they dead ops names. And I'm like, now if you put other words and a whole different verse to that, the way that you can rhyme, this would be a way better song. But I can't even really fully get into it because you can't get their name out your mouth. I'm not here for it either way. And honestly, you are a little bit touched, as they say, if you fall into the trap that people is trying to set for you. Just because somebody comes from a different neighborhood doesn't mean you have to have undercover pressure or you gotta apply pressure when you like. Listen, the younger generation is so willing to crash out to prove their point of how big and tough they is, and it don't prove nothing on either side. It just proves that y'all put y'all energy and exert so much energy into what's unnecessary. I really suggest that all of the youth, stop clicking up so much. Stop thinking that friends are going to be forever. And I'm not talking about, your friends dying. I'm talking about friendships. Because they're not. Street friendships. Street activity with people. It doesn't last forever. You could love somebody, but you gotta love yourself more. And you gotta figure out who you are. The neighborhood you come from, what your rap name is, who are you? It's time for that generation to do some soul searching. Seriously. Y'all gotta figure out who y'all wanna be as men. Because if I went the route that a lot of these young females now is going, I would not be alive today. If I didn't have the type of instincts that I had to stay out the way, I would not be here today. So it's time for y'all to really lock in with yourselves. Notti Osama, either get your GED, because I seen a clip now, and I understand not wanting to go back to school after losing somebody so close. I can relate to that. I can sympathize with that. It was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks that I didn't go to school, and the police showed up at my house pressing my mom about why I didn't go to school. I was depressed, and I didn't know I was depressed. I just knew that I was over a whole bunch of shit. I was over interacting with people that I probably won't see 10 years down the line. And I was right. I was right about one thing. I was right about not associating myself with many people or wanting to interact because those people aren't around anymore. God bless them, Safe travels and grow and flourish. But we grew apart for a reason, right? understand, especially with the field that you in, not wanting to, be confronted about anything or asked any questions. But before it all went bad, you enjoyed school and you were still in drill rap. And now that it gets dangerous, you can't fully back down from your responsibility of going to school. Now, what I will say is, in his position, if that's really what you're going to stick to, not going to school, get the rest of your credits and what you got to do. Because I wouldn't want, or your cousin, your friends, your family, your mom, Notti's mom, would not want you to fully give up on finishing school. If you are living now for your cousin, that's one huge thing that he did not get to do. He did not get to graduate high school, have his first child, get married, be a grown man. And you are still at a great age where you can catch yourself and change a lot of things for the good, for longevity, for a long life. Do it for Notti Osama, but also Baby and all of y'all young people, because it's targets on y'all back, and a lot of y'all have targets on each other, and y'all all young. This type of physical harm, I know nothing of that, because in my generation, it was fists, it was chairs. You know what I'm saying? It was stuff like that, but we didn't want to kill each other. It's so much more that I can say on this. I will leave it at saying that the youth has to know how important your education is, and also how valuable life is. This is not no movie or video game. The police is not as dumb as people think. It's other ways, instead of people snitching, that the feds can find out who did what. We just in that day and time. And y'all was born in a time where, rest in peace to Notti Osama. Rest in peace to Baby. It's your girl B Octavia. Sound off in the comments below. And I will see y'all in my next video.